What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Rad Dad channel video, or welcome if it's your first time. Either way, very glad to have you. We are finally getting around to doing the long-term review of the Scorpion EXO-R1 Air, specifically in the carbon fiber finish.
Riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a
Alright guys, so a lot of you guys, especially the people that I've been talking to on Instagram and stuff about helmets and everything, a lot of you guys know I have had this helmet for a little bit of time now. Also, I believe I referenced this helmet on the long-term Rock review video as being a much better value. I don't remember the weight offhand, but I will write it right now. This is one of the lightest helmets I've ever tried. My wife has, now she doesn't ride, but she rides as a passenger sometimes with me. And she has the regular finish one, just in white. That is retailing for $400 on Revzilla right now. This is retailing for $550. All the Scorpions come with a dark shield as well as a clear shield. They're both pin lock ready, and it comes with one pin lock insert. Most helmets nowadays, unfortunately, don't even come with the pin lock insert, and they only come with a clear visor typically. But you get both of these. So when you factor that in for, if you're used to spending $250 on a helmet or whatever, now you get a pin lock and a second shield. Typically, that's going to run you about $100 to $150 for both of those things if you were to buy anyway. This is an incredibly great value. The fit and finish on this helmet is amazing. There is no issues with quality control on either mine or my wife's. To me, this carbon fiber finish it's just tasty. It's a nice, clean, shiny carbon fiber. It's awesome. The Scorpions do lock in the center. The release mechanism, when you lift it up, there's kind of like this little tab that you pull up a little bit, and that's how it releases. There's no like actual click in kind of thing. It's very easy to lock in. It's not a very positive click, but it is a click nonetheless. It's just kind of a mushy click because it seals very well. I have not had this in much rain. I've had this in a light drizzle once, and with all the vents closed and everything, never had any issues, with any water getting in. The seal seems to be 100% sealed all the way around. Interior, great. The interior material is kind of like this, I forget what they call it, but it feels almost like a neoprene. What does this remind me of? It reminds me of almost like those Under Armour or dry fit shirts, like the clingy ones that you'd wear as an undershirt kind of thing. That's almost what it reminds me of, but that's not exactly. It reminds me of something else, but I can't think of it right now. But it's a very cool type liner. It doesn't make you feel hot at all. It wicks away the moisture. This is the medium, fits perfectly for me. I wear a medium in pretty much everything. I'm trying to think of really any of the normal stateside helmets that I don't wear a medium in, and I can't think of anything. And I've tried, you guys know, I've tried a lot of helmets. So medium fits me, so this fits as is, or as stated, like some of them tell you to size up, size down, or whatever. I say this is pretty much spot on. Same with my wife, spot on for her measurements. The Scorpion EXO-R1 Airs have this red bulb, this little button here, and these control a inflatable liner that's behind these cheek pads. So to inflate it, you pump it up, push this red button, you can hear the air coming up, and it inflates these cheek pads. To deflate them, you push this clear or red metal button, and it deflates them. You can hear it. right? So a lot of you guys might be thinking that that is kind of gimmicky. And here's why it's not. A couple reasons. One, cheek pads wear out. I don't care what size you get, what helmet you get. They always break in. Yes, they're always going to wear out over time. If it broke in and now it fits perfect after a month or two of break-in, and now you have this helmet for the next 3 or 4 years, those cheek pads are going to wear in. The other thing is, they might wear in a little bit at the base, but be very comfy, and now all of a sudden you have a 20-degree morning where you're gonna go for a ride, and now you want just extra space taken up in between your cheeks and your kind of neck roll and your cheek pad area to really make sure that wind stays away from you. Pump it up a little bit. The other kind of portion of this is these cheek pads, even though they broke in and it fits me fine, I would benefit still from the lower size cheek pads, the thinner cheek pads. The bad side to that is ever since I've owned this helmet, which has been for about, I think about 5, yeah, probably about 5 months now, these cheek pads have been out of stock absolutely everywhere. The Scorpion website, Revzilla, I mean, just you name it, every website. I even bought it from a website that I was unfamiliar with that I would not recommend purchasing anything from, so I'm not even going to mention their name. But I bought them because it said they were in stock, and that was 3.5 months ago. They're clearly not in stock. I've contacted them. They're a garbage site. I'll never use them again. Thankfully, it was only 25 bucks. I'm still in the middle of trying to cancel that order. But either way, these cheek pads are out of stock. So when my wife bought hers, she wanted to switch out her cheek pads for a bigger one because it was too loose, actually. They were in stock. So some of them are in stock, some of them are not. Just something to note, there's obviously the issues that are plaguing a lot of manufacturers, unfortunately, right now, are definitely plaguing Scorpion for these specific cheek pads, at least the ones that I wanted, which seem to be one of the most common ones. So just keep that in mind. So right now, I would not benefit from that air inflatable system because the cheek pads are already as tight as I would ever want them. That being said, they did break in a little bit. Comfortable enough for me to wear for, I mean, the longest trip I've taken with this helmet so far has been about 1 hour and 15 minutes keeping it on. But it's been comfortable for that, but just something to note, you know, that if you think you're gonna want to size down or if that's gonna be a factor for you. I know when I was getting the next helmet I bought now, which you guys will see reviews for that later on, that was definitely something I wanted to check, knowing my issue with this is just the availability of the aftermarket, or not really even aftermarket, just the replacement parts, stuff like that. So they do come with it does come with a removable breath guard, which some helmets will hit my nose or block my vision. This one does not negatively interact with me at all, so I leave that one on there. The field of view is huge, as you probably can imagine because it looks pretty big, but it is a big, very big field of view, no issues. To change out the windshield portion of it, you basically just push forward on these 2 tabs. You push forward on this side, and it comes off, and same thing on this side. To put it back on, I'm not going to do both sides because there's no reason for. To put it back on, it is kind of fidgety in the way that it has to fit in both of these, and it's not hard to do, but it's definitely not the easiest one I've ever had. You just have to fit it in both sides, and then this tab on the front portion has to, yeah, so again, it's not impossible to do. It's relatively quick. Real time, you guys just watch me do it, but it is definitely not the quickest, easiest one that I've ever had to change. Now, let's talk about venting, because most of you guys that have seen my videos before know who I am and you know, are familiar with this stuff and know that venting is a huge make or break issue for helmets for me. So, venting. The front has this one single position, open or closed, vent for these 2. Inside, you have a lever that adjusts the wind to either hit the windscreen or the face. So it adjusts it up and around or forward to the face. The exterior vent, I feel a lot. You definitely feel it a lot, especially because this neck curtain or chin curtain actually deflects most of the wind, so really which is removable by the way, but you really do feel the wind come in through here, which most helmets you do feel that vent. I feel like that vent is pretty much the same on all helmets. It usually does work. Now, I will say for me personally, I don't feel a difference really with that interior button pushed up or down, or interior switch pushed up or down. I don't feel like it changes and hits that or whatever. I just feel it all on the face, which is not necessarily a bad thing, especially because you have the pin lock, so you really wouldn't ever need to defog unless you were not running a pin lock, which they're like 30 or 40 bucks. So if you're gonna be running both shields, I highly recommend just getting a second pin lock or whatever. Top vent. This is where helmets come to die on the Ride and Dad channel. Top vent on this helmet is great. It is one of the best performing top vents I have ever tried out on helmets. It is a single position, open or closed, very easy with gloved hands. There's even like a little notch on this side to make sure you just flip it open real quick, and then there's grooves on the top to kind of get a good purchase on it either way. But again, your head, on the top of your head, you just flick the glove hand back, and there's that little notch. Makes it super easy to open. The exterior vents are always open, it's supposed to suck the air out or whatever, and the top vent is great. Even going 20, 25 miles an hour, somewhere around there, low speed, just cruising, you flick it open and you instantly feel the air rush over the top of your head. And now I will do another close-up, if I didn't already, of the channel's interior. And you could definitely see why that vent does such a good job, because there's a ton of good channels built in to the actual EPS liner and stuff, and it's no wonder that you definitely feel some air. In addition to all of that, you do have these two vents up here that aid in pushing the air that way and through the helmet and getting venting done. So if you do want to ride with the visor all the way up, I mean, obviously you have it all hitting your face, but air will definitely hit those channels even more than if you just were to have the air vents open normally and have all the air in the helmet circulating. Something to also note, a lot of helmets, some helmets, actually not a lot, when you push the visor all the way up, your line of vision, you see a little bit still. You don't in this. It's completely unobstructed. As far as positions go, if you care about that, when it's locked, it's obviously locked. You can unlock it, and then you have a venting position, which is specifically made just bare minimum open, just to get some extra airflow in there, with the shield pretty much all the way down still. A lot of helmets don't have that. This helmet has it. Super nice feature to have. So that's 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, 4 clicks, 5 clicks, and there's the open 6th click. No issues with the visor clicking into position or anything like that. Works really well, no issues. So, you guys must be saying by now, Chris, this helmet is so cheap, it's such lightweight, it feels great. There's got to be some issue with it, no? Or is this just the perfect helmet that's going to end all helmets? Yes. Unfortunately, there is an issue with this helmet. Well, for those of you who care, it's not an issue for me. I prefer the double D rings, but it still has double D rings. Some of you guys might hate double D rings. That might be an issue for you. Again, me, it's tried and true, been there forever. It is important to note that this helmet is Snell, or actually no, is it Snell? It's not Snell, it's ECE. So it's DOT, which nowadays DOT means nothing, but it's DOT, whatever, and then it's ECE R22.05 approved. So I thought this was Snell, but I guess it's not. I don't know if the non-carbon version is Snell or not. I can't remember, but this one's ECE. You have to do your own research if that's important to you. So the negative is the audio interface with this. So most helmets nowadays will have speaker pockets built in, and this one is no different. There is speaker pocket built, a plastic speaker pocket built into the EPS liner right on the side, and it's got the little clips. And here is the negative. Those of you who know me know my typical go-to is a Cardo Pack Talk Bold. Those speakers, although they are mostly round, have a little kind of protrusion where the wire comes out. And although these have a lining built in the channel for the wire, the hole itself is very round and it's too small to fit that speaker with the little kind of nub out. Now, that being said, I put some Velcro pads in there, ran the speakers for a while, and that was fine. I had no issues necessarily. The only issue was that the speakers obviously were completely forward and out of the channels that they were supposed to, be in. So they did touch my ears and stuff, and it was kind of annoying like that. But I was still able to run the helmet just fine, and I had no real issues, I guess you can call it. So that's one negative, I guess, really the only negative with this. It does fit glasses. I've worn sunglasses many times and there's no issues. There's channels built in. You can kind of see where the padding goes away here, right where the stem of the glasses would go. No issues wearing glasses with this. Again, super lightweight. Wind noise is subjective, but I will say that this is I would say medium loud helmet. I've had definitely louder helmets, but I've also had much quieter helmet. Part of that, those of you who have any experience with carbon fiber helmets, that's something that you definitely typically have to sacrifice, is a super lightweight helmet, especially in a carbon fiber finish. You're going to sacrifice a little bit of quietness. In that, it's just part of physics, I guess. The other portion of that is that this is a very well ventilating helmet. Again, something that you typically sacrifice. The more it vents, typically the louder it is. So just something for you guys to keep in note. This is a super comfortable helmet for me. It's not the most comfortable helmet I've ever worn. It is slightly more snug feeling than some of the most comfortable helmets that I have. I would say right now, for the price point, in my opinion, from what I've tried with my knowledge, this is the best value and best go-to, I would say, on the market right now. For the normal helmet, still relatively lightweight, that's not in the carbon fiber, $400 for the two visors, the pin lock, the well venting, everything like that. That is really hard to beat. For $550, super lightweight, carbon fiber, again, all the added extras and stuff, that's super hard to beat too. I would say it's impossible. Right now, unless there's crazy sales going on, I'd say this is my go-to. I recommend this helmet to a ton of people. I have talked to several people on Instagram now that either took my recommendations and bought it or had it prior to me recommending it. And we've talked about this, and everybody I know with this helmet loves it. Nobody has any issues. Again, it's a great value. Comes, especially if you're not someone new, but somebody that's never bought like a more higher priced helmet. You're typically around the $100 to $200 tops window. Making that jump to the $400 or the $550 is a big jump for you guys. I know not everybody spends $850 on a Corsair X, their second helmet into stuff like I did. So having all of the features and the added stuff that this helmet gives you for that price point, I think is a huge, not only a huge selling point, but a huge comfort, I guess, for somebody wanting to spend that kind of money or willing to spend that kind of money. So overall, this helmet is great. Would I recommend it? 100%. But I do have something that I've been trying out now that you guys are gonna have to wait for a long-term review on that for a while, but I do have something that you guys are gonna have to wait and see that I would say performs even better than this helmet, but it is in a different price category. So for the price right now, this Scorpion EXO-R1 Air, whether you get the regular or the carbon fiber version like this, I'd say, again, hands down, the best value in helmets. It performs great. It has everything you need. It's an awesome, awesome helmet, and Scorpion is doing a lot of really cool things right now. So if you have anything to say about this video, please interact with me in the comments. I respond to pretty much everybody. Even if you're stupid, I respond to you, but then I take a screenshot and I post it on Instagram. Instagram is the easiest way to have a long-term conversation with me, or question or something like that, it's easier. Obviously, we can go back and forth with a private message thread. So check this helmet out if you haven't already. If you have it, let me know your thoughts on it. Make sure you're subscribed to the Riding Dad YouTube channel, because why wouldn't you be? Give this video a thumbs up, especially if you like what I'm doing, because it helps me out, it helps the channel out, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching very much, and until the next time, guys, ride safe, have fun, Dad out.